I bet you've tried at least one New Year's resolution in your life. Maybe you wanted to lose weight or make more money or start a business or stop procrastinating. But come February, March, April, you stopped doing it because you lost motivation. You might have even felt disappointed with yourself, thinking there's something wrong with me. I can't do this. People like me don't achieve big things. You might have sworn never to set goals again. And if that sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not alone. In fact, only 9% of people actually achieve their New Year's resolutions. And most people believe they need motivation to take action. They think once they feel motivated, they'll start working out, eating better, saving money, being more productive. But motivation isn't reliable and it's often fleeting. It comes after action, not before. If you wait for motivation to take action, you'll be waiting forever because motivation is unreliable. The good news is there's a solution to this problem. Motivation is not the answer. In this video, we're going to explore why relying on motivation will keep you stuck and show you what really drives results. Small, consistent steps that compound over time. So, let's dive in. There are 3 reasons why motivation doesn't work and why relying on it will set you up for failure in 2025 and beyond. The first reason is that motivation is unreliable. Think about it. When you feel motivated, you feel amazing. You're excited to get things done. But that feeling doesn't last forever. In fact, it disappears after a few days, weeks, or months. What happens then? You lose interest and abandon your goals. Why does this happen? Well, our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. When something feels good, we naturally want to do more of it. And when something feels bad, we try to avoid it. That's why motivation is like a roller coaster. It goes up and down all the time, making it hard to stay focused and achieve your goals. The second reason is that motivation is inconsistent. Let's say you're trying to build a habit of exercising every morning. Some mornings you wake up feeling energized and ready to hit the gym. Other days you feel tired, grumpy, or unmotivated. You might skip the gym altogether or push your workout to the next day. You're not alone. In fact, most people struggle to build consistent habits because motivation isn't consistent. We can't always rely on how we feel to get things done. The third reason is that motivation is not necessary. We don't need motivation to take action. We just need a reason and a plan. Most people don't need motivation to eat when they're hungry or drink when they're thirsty. These are basic needs that drive our behavior. We also don't need motivation to avoid pain. If we touch a hot stove, we don't need motivation to pull our hand away. We just react to the pain. Similarly, we don't need motivation to avoid danger. If we see a tornado, we don't need motivation to run away. We just flee from the threat. We can apply this same logic to achieving our goals. If we want to achieve something important, we don't need motivation. We just need a strong reason and a clear plan. So, how do we solve this problem? How do we achieve our goals without motivation? The answer is simple yet counterintuitive. You don't wait for motivation to take action. You take action to create motivation. Motivation is a byproduct of action, not the other way around. In other words, you don't feel motivated to exercise, so you don't do it. Instead, you put on your workout clothes and do 1 push-up, 1 sit-up, or 1 squat. Then you take a break, have some water, watch TV, and repeat the cycle until you've worked out for 30 minutes. Before you know it, you'll feel motivated to keep going. That's because our brains love rewards. When we take action, no matter how small, we get a dopamine hit. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that makes us feel good. It's the same chemical that makes us crave food, sex, and drugs. When we get a dopamine hit, we feel satisfied and motivated to keep going. But if we don't take action, we won't get any dopamine. And that's why we feel bored, demotivated, and stuck. Now, you might be wondering, what if I don't feel like it? What if I'm too tired or too busy? To that I say, who cares? You still have to do it because the alternative is worse. Imagine if you needed to feel like it to brush your teeth or wash your face. You would probably have bad breath and dirt all over your face all the time. You would look and smell terrible. That's how important it is to take action consistently, even when you don't feel like it. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this point. There were 2 friends, Jack and Mike. Both wanted to become successful entrepreneurs, so they read the same book on how to start a business. After reading the book, Jack was super excited. He felt motivated to start his own company. He quit his job, called all the banks to get loans, and spent thousands of dollars on fancy equipment and office space. A few months later, Jack was broke and back to square one. He was devastated and thought he wasn't cut out for this. Mike, on the other hand, didn't feel any motivation after reading the book. He was still happy with his job and didn't want to quit. But he followed the advice from the book and took small, consistent steps every day. He learned graphic design, built a website, created an online store, and sold digital products. He didn't spend any more than $1,000 and still kept his full-time job. 1 year later, Mike's online business was bringing in $10,000 per month and he was still working his job. He had achieved success without quitting or investing much money because he took small, consistent steps every day. The key takeaway here is that motivation is not required to take action. All you need is a reason and a plan. If you want to achieve something important, you must take action consistently, even when you don't feel like it. That's the only way to create motivation and build momentum. Now let us talk about how you can use this principle to achieve your goals in 2025 and beyond. First, find your why. Why do you want to achieve your goal? What will it mean for you and for others? Connect emotionally with your goal. For example, if you want to lose weight, don't think about how many calories you need to burn or how many pounds you need to lose. Think about how you'll feel when you fit into your favorite jeans again, how you'll look in a swimsuit, how you'll feel proud and confident. That's your why. Second, create your plan. Break down your goal into small, consistent steps that you can take daily. Make it easy for yourself to follow through. For example, if you want to write a book, don't think about all the chapters and pages you need to write. Think about writing one paragraph or one sentence each day. Third, take action daily. No matter how small or insignificant it may seem, take action. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Create motivation by taking action. Fourth, track your progress. Celebrate your wins and learn from your mistakes. Use a journal, an app, or a spreadsheet to track your daily steps and measure your results. This will help you stay accountable and motivated. Fifth, reward yourself. When you complete a task or a milestone, reward yourself with something you enjoy. It could be a treat, an experience, or anything that makes you happy. Just don't use food as a reward. In conclusion, motivation is not the answer. In fact, it's the problem. Motivation is unreliable, inconsistent, and unnecessary. If you want to achieve your goals in 2025 and beyond, you must take action consistently, even when you don't feel like it. By following these 5 steps, you can create motivation and build momentum towards your goals. So what are you waiting for? Take action today and create the life you want. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.